Hi, now in today's video lecture we will go through hybridization, concept of hybridization. So if you just look at the word hybrid, this word is taken from hybrid, and hybrid simply means to mix up, right? Mix and merge, right? So hybridization, when we study in chemical bonding, it means hybridization is mixing of atomic orbitals, sp-d orbitals, right? In this syllabus we would be looking into only sp-d hybridization, right? So hybridization involving sp-d orbitals, right? So simply, if you look at the simple definition of hybridization, it is mixing of atomic orbitals, sp-d orbitals, writing it in bracket, right, to form. Now when these orbitals mix up, they will form a new set of orbitals, right, to form new set of hybrid orbitals, right, having same energy and orientation in space, right? So we'll be looking now deeply into it, right? So hybridization simply is when sp-d orbitals mix up, right? These orbitals mix up, combine, right? And we know that they have different energies, right? So but these orbitals, I said, have different energies, but when it will mix up, right, it will form hybrid orbitals. These hybrid orbitals would be having same energy, right? So what they will do is, these orbitals, when they mix up, they will redistribute their energy, right, to have, so that they will redistribute their energy, so that each of the hybrid orbitals will have same energy, right? So these set of hybrid orbitals will have same energy, and the number of orbitals that gets formed as a result of hybridization or as a result of mixing up of atomic orbitals would be equal to the number of atomic orbitals, right? For example, if we have 1s and 3p orbitals, right? So if we have 1s, right, and 3p orbitals, it will form the hybrid orbitals, right? We would be calling those hybrid orbitals as sp3. That means 1s and 3p orbitals. If we have 1s and 2p orbitals, it would be sp2, right? Similarly, 1s 1p sp orbital, right? So these would be sp3 orbitals. 1s orbital, 3p orbital will combine to form sp3 orbitals, right? And these will have same energy, right, and same orientation, like I said before, right? So now let's look what is the need for hybridization. From where does this idea of hybridization came into mind, right? Where does the idea of hybridization came, right? Now we'll be looking into this. Okay, before we go ahead and look into this, into details of hybridization, let's look into the formation of a simple molecule based on VSEPR theory, right? Let's look at the formation of ammonia molecule, right? Ammonia is the electronic configuration of nitrogen is, we'll call it as ground state electronic configuration. Ground state electronic configuration of nitrogen atom is, it's 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1, right? It would be like this: 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, right, 2pz1, you have, sorry, 2py1, then you have 2pz1, right? This is the ground state electronic configuration of nitrogen, right? And ammonia is NH3. You have 3 orbitals of, you have 3 hydrogen atoms in ammonia, right? In ammonia. So ground state electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1s1, right? So 1s1, the orbital of hydrogen is singly filled, right? And here 3 orbitals, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1 orbitals of nitrogen are singly filled, right? So we know that when a chemical bonding takes place, only singly filled orbitals can overlap, right? So here 3 singly filled orbitals of nitrogen atom will overlap with 3 singly filled orbital of hydrogen to form ammonia molecule, right? So this is for outer state, outer electronic configuration. 1s1, 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 right? So these 3 represents 3 hydrogen atoms, right? Now overlapping based on valence bond theory will occur between half-filled orbitals. So this orbital, this orbital, this orbital will overlap with each of these hydrogen atoms like this, right? And they will form bonds. When we say they are overlapping, that means bonding is taking place, covalent bonding is taking place, right? Now the overlapping region, right, in the overlapping region, these electron pairs which are bond pairs will lie, right? That's what we mean. And if you look at this, if you want to draw it, if this is your nitrogen, right, one orbital, the second orbital, the third orbital, right? And this is your filled orbital, completely filled orbital. It has 2 electrons, right? So this will represent a lone pair of electron, right? And this will not take part in bonding because this is completely filled. It has 2 electrons. This is not half. This is not half filled, so it cannot take part in overlapping. Cannot take part in overlapping means it cannot take part in bonding, right? So these are 2px, right? 2py, say, and 2pz orbitals, right? Now these will overlap with 1s1, 1s1, 1s1 orbital of 3 hydrogen atoms like this. We know that 1s1 is your spherical s orbital, right? So this is how this overlapping will take place, right, to form these 3 bonds, right, and one lone pair. This lone pair is 2s2, right, and this is your central atom nitrogen, and this nitrogen, the central atom of nitrogen, is surrounded by one lone pair and 3 bond pairs, and this bond pair is the result of overlapping between orbitals of nitrogen and hydrogen atom, right? Half-filled orbitals of nitrogen and hydrogen atom. So we can easily explain the formation of ammonia molecule based on ground state electronic configuration of nitrogen atom. Now let's look at some other elements. Let's look at the compound beryllium chloride, right, BeCl2. The electronic configuration, ground state electronic configuration of beryllium atom is your 1s2, 2s2. If you want to draw it like this, it is 1s2, 2s2, right? But if you look at this beryllium atom, we are trying to study the chemical bonding of BeCl2. It's like this, right? Now for beryllium to form bonds with 2 chlorine atoms, its valency should be 2. When we say the valency 2, that means it should have 2 half-filled orbitals, right? Because valency is equal to the number of half-filled orbitals taking part in chemical bonding. If you look at this, the valency of nitrogen in ammonia is 3, right? Because we have 3 half-filled nitrogen orbitals. But here we have 0 half-filled orbitals based on the ground state electronic configuration of beryllium, right? So as per this electronic configuration, since it has no half-filled orbital, it should not form bond, it should not form 2 bonds with these 2 chlorine atoms, right? That means it should be 0 valent. Based on this electronic configuration, it should be 0 valent. Valency is 0. It should not combine with other or 2 atoms of chlorine, right? Now similarly, let's look at methane molecule. We know that methane has 4 hydrogen atoms attached to 1 carbon atom, right? That means based on this formula, based on this molecule, the valency of carbon is 4. Since it can combine with 4 hydrogen atoms, so its combining capacity is 4, right? So here this is tetravalent. That means its valency is 4, right? Now let's look at the ground state electronic configuration of this carbon. Ground state electronic configuration, it's 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz0, right? It has 2 half-filled orbitals, right? It has, based on ground state electronic configuration, it has 2 half-filled orbitals. That means it can form or it can overlap with 2 other half-filled orbitals to form 2 bonds. That means it should be divalent, right? So that it should be divalent. 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, right, 2py1, right, this is empty, 2pz0, right? So carbon should be divalent, right? That means divalent means it can combine with only 2 hydrogen atoms, but here we can see it's combining with 4 hydrogen atoms, right? So this is little abnormal behavior. Based on, if you look at the electronic configuration, this looks abnormal behavior in case of beryllium and carbon. Here beryllium should not be combining with any other element because it has any other atom, because it has no half-filled orbital, right? It should be 0 valent. Similarly, if you look at carbon have only 2 half-filled orbitals, so it should be combining maximum with 2 other hydrogen atoms, but here we can see, so it should be divalent. But in methane we can see that carbon is tetravalent, it has combined with 4 hydrogen atoms, right? So what could have caused this carbon, right, to be tetravalent in methane, or this beryllium to be divalent in case of BeCl2, right? What could have caused this? Now in order to explain this, we will use something known as promotion concept. We will be using promotion concept, right? As per promotion concept, one of the electrons, right, from filled 2s orbital, right, from filled 2s orbitals of valence shell would be transferred to the empty p orbital, right, of the valence shell, right? So based on this promotion concept, this electron, 2s electron, one 2s electron would be promoted to this 2pz orbital, right? Similarly, 2s orbital, right, 2s electron in case of beryllium would be shifted to the 2px orbital, right? So it should be like this. This is your 2px orbital, right? In ground state it has no electron, right? But when we promote one electron from 2s orbital to 2px orbital like this, it will become it will become like this. 1s2. Now 2s has one electron. This one electron it will promote to 2px. This is your 2px. Now it has two half-filled orbitals, right? So it can combine with two chlorine atoms, right? Based on promotion concept, when we say that one electron would be promoted from 2s orbital to 2px orbital. Similarly, if you look at methane molecule, in methane molecule, if we use the same promotion concept, one electron would be transferred from 2s orbital to 2px orbital, like this. So it will become like this. One electron would be transferred to here at this, like this, right? So this is not your ground state. Now this is your excited state electronic configuration of carbon. Similarly, this is your excited state electronic configuration of beryllium, right? So now we have four half-filled orbitals. These four half-filled orbitals can overlap with 1s orbital of hydrogen atoms, like this. So it can form 4 bonds, right? Here it can form 4 bonds now. So now this is your, let me just write it over here. Now this is your, since I said this is your excited state electronic configuration, right? So now it can form bonds with one s1, 1s1, 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 4 hydrogen atoms, right? Like this, to form 4 bonds, like this, right? So these 4 bonds can be explained based on promotion concept, right? Similarly, if you look at this beryllium, right? If you look at beryllium is 1s2, right? 2s1, and one electron is transferred to 2px. This is 2s1, 2px1, 1 is 2, right? Now chlorine, one half-filled orbital of chlorine will overlap with beryllium, right? Two half-filled orbitals of 2 chlorine atoms will overlap with beryllium, right, to form these 2 bonds, right? These 2 bonds. So we can explain now divalent nature of beryllium in BeCl2, right? So using promotion concept, we can explain the tetravalent valency of carbon in methane and divalent valency of beryllium in BeCl2, right? Now comes the second thing, right? Now we are near hybridization. Now if you look at these bonds, right, this is your SS bond, right? This is your S orbital and this is your S orbital, right? So this is your SS, this bond is due to SS overlapping, right? Similarly, these 3 are p orbitals, right? These have same energy but they have different orientations, we know from atomic structure, right? So these are 3 sp bonds. Since p orbital of carbon is overlapping with s orbital of hydrogen atom, right? 3 p orbitals of carbon are overlapping with 3 s orbitals of hydrogen. So we have one sp, this is one ss bond, one bond due to ss overlapping, and 3 bonds due to sp overlapping, right? So these 2 bonds should be different, right? These 2 bonds are different, right? This SS and SP bonds are different, right? Since these s orbital have different energy, sp orbital have different energy, so these bonds should be different. But experimentally, right, that means where we are talking about of these bonds, this methane molecule, right? So what we say is, uh, out of these 4 bonds, one is ss bond, right, and rest of the 3 are sp bonds, right? These 3 are sp bonds and one is ss bond in this methane molecule, right? But experimentally it is found that in methane molecule we have no different bonds, right? All bonds are same, right? It's because if you look at this overlapping concept, you will see that one is different from rest of the 3, right? But experimentally we found that all the 4 bonds are equivalent, all the 4 bonds are same, right? So what could have caused all these bonds same, right, instead of 1 ss and 3 sp bonds, right? So we write it like this: experimentally all the 4 bonds are same, or we use the word equivalent. What could have caused this? Now what we use is, what we say is, since all these bonds are same, right, that means we know that all these 4 orbitals of hydrogen are same, 1s orbital. But why this one different bond than rest of the 3? Because here in case of in carbon, one is 2s orbital, rest of the 3 are 2p orbital, right? So due to this 2s orbital, this bond is different than rest of the 3, right? But experimentally we see that all these are same bonds, right? All these are same bonds. So what could have caused this? If you look at the excited state electronic configuration, I'll just draw it again here, right? Let's look at over here only. This excited state electronic configuration has 1s and 3p orbitals, right? So since all the bonds are same, right, so what could have happened is that these 4 orbitals, 1s and 3p orbitals, must have mixed and merged, right, to form a set of new orbitals, right, to form a set of new orbitals that are exactly same in energy and orientation, right? So this is what we have studied in the beginning, that hybridization is mixing of atomic orbitals to form new set of hybrid orbitals, right? Why new set of hybrid orbitals? That have same energy and orientation, we said, right, based on all this concept, right? So what could have happened is that this 2s orbital and 2p orbital, right, would have mixed or merged, right, to form 4 new set of sp3 orbitals, right? Because we said that if 1s and 3p orbitals will merge, they will form sp3 orbitals that will be having same energy, right? So what they are basically doing is, this 2s and this 2p orbitals will mix and merge their energy, right, will mix and merge and redistribute their energy, right? So since they are redistributing their energy, so all the 4 mixed up orbitals or hybrid orbitals, we call them as hybrid orbitals, will have same energy, right? So this 2s orbital, and we have this 3 2px, 2py and 2pz, right? So this 1s orbital and 3p orbitals will mix up, sorry, this is one electron, I'm sorry, this is 1 electron, this is the ground state, excited state electronic configuration, right? Right. So now this 1s and 3p orbitals, right, have mixed up mixed and merged and redistributed their energy to form these 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. Right? Now these sp3 hybrid orbitals, these will have same energy. Right? And this is known as hybridization, when different orbitals will mix and merge and redistribute their energy to form a new set of orbitals. Right? This is your hybridization. Right? So hybrid orbitals have entirely different properties from the original orbitals from which they have been formed. Right? So these orbitals, right, these orbitals have completely different energy from these orbitals from which they have been formed. Right? So this concept was taken so as to explain the equivalence of all the 4 bonds in methane molecule. Right? Based on this concept, we see that there is no different bond. Like here, based on overlapping concept, there was one SS, one 3 sp bonds. Right? This is not so. Since experimentally it is found that all the bonds are same. Right? What could have caused it? That all these partially filled orbitals, right, s and p orbitals, mix and merge and redistribute their energy to form a new set of orbitals, right, that have same energy, and their properties would be completely different from these orbitals from where they have been formed. Right? So this is your hybridization. This is the concept of hybridization. Right? So now it's clear what is hybridization. Right? So here, since atomic orbitals are mixing up, right, and merging, so that is why we call the new set of orbitals, these are known as hybrid orbitals. Right? And this entire thing is known as hybridization. Right? So the phenomenon of hybridization involves 2 steps. Right? Right? So there are 2 things. First is in order to explain hybridization, we have 2 things. First is your promotion concept, right, where one electron would be transferred to the other orbital, from one orbital to other orbital. Right? That's how we explained the tetravalent nature of carbon. Right? Then second was that these orbitals will mix and merge, right, to form a new set of orbitals. Right? So here mixing and merging of orbitals to form new set of hybrid orbitals. Right? So these 2 concepts are there in hybridization. Hybridization is based on these 2 concepts. Right? So I hope this is clear, and in next video lecture we would be looking into the types of hybridization, and we would be looking into hybridization into some other molecules, right, like ethane, ethene, acetylene. Right? That will clear your concept of hybridization. Right? Similarly, like here we have seen 1s and 3p orbitals are mixing to form sp3 hybrid orbitals. Similarly, if 1s and 2p orbitals will mix up, it will form sp2 orbitals. If 1s and 1p orbital will mix up, it will form sp orbitals. Right? These are hybrid orbitals. So we would be looking more into this hybridization, into the types of hybridization in the next video lecture. Thanks.